Before we start section 7-3 on inequalities, I want to review just a few symbols with you. Let's remember that this symbol and what this symbol and this symbol mean. This one, less than or equal to. It means it's less than or it can be equal to a number. Say we had the number 49. It can be less than that or it can be equal to it. It can be at the most. The words might say at the most it can be this. The words in a sentence also might say it can be no more than that. When it says no more than that, does it mean it could be that? It could be that. It could be less than that too. Now this symbol is the opposite. 10 is greater than or equal to. That means it's greater than or equal to. That's what it looks like in words. It means that it's no less than that. It can't be less than 10. It could be 10. Or excuse me, it could be 10, but it can be no less than that. It has to be at least 49. So think about those words when you're reading word problems and what that actually means. You know, here's some other suggestions. You can spend at most $20. You can spend $20 or any amount less than $20. All of those things mean the same thing. Okay. 7-3 inequalities. Inequalities help you describe relationships. It helps you to decide the value of something compared to something else. For instance, here we have our speed limit sign. The speed limit says it could be 30. You can drive 35, right? Or you can drive less than 35. Either way is legal, right? If you drive more than that, what happens? Oh yeah, you get a ticket. All right. Here's your definition. An inequality is a mathematical sentence. Oops, sorry. An inequality is a my bad. Try it one more time. An inequality is a mathematical sentence that contains less than or greater than. It can also be less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. It can contain both of those. So make sure you write that down. All right, let's write an inequality for each sentence. Your age is less than 6 years. So your age, A, is less than 6 years. Easy enough? So if you want to go on a ride at the fair, do you remember when you were too short to go on some rides? They'd have these signs out here. It would say you must be over 40 inches tall. So your height must be, greater than 40 inches. Greater than 40 inches. So you have some problems like that on your homework where you have to decide less than or greater than and how to write that numerical sentence. Some of them, like we talked about, will contain less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. So here you're going to write an inequality for a sentence, write a numerical sentence for this sentence. Your speed, here's A, your speed is less than or equal to 35 miles an hour. So for your speed, you must go less than or equal to 35 miles per hour. All right? Your speed is greater than or equal to 55 miles per hour. Okay. If you want to take a minute and copy in your notes this small chart, it might help you remember these symbols and the words that match these symbols. Less than is fewer than is a couple of ways to think about that symbol. Greater than is more than, exceeds. Less than or equal to is no more than, is at the most. All of those words, all those phrases mean that same thing. And here's the last one. Is no less than, is at least, or is greater than or equal to. When you're finished, you can copying this little chart, you can start your video back up. Okay, here's a little word problem where we have to write an inequality to describe it. A food can be labeled low fat only if it has no more than 3 grams of fat per serving. So let's reread that sentence again. A food can be labeled low fat only if it has, look at those words, no more than 3 grams of fat per serving. So let's write our inequality for no more than 3 grams of fat. So fat, we'll use the variable f, can be no more than 3 grams. It must be less than, but it's no more than. Could it be equal to? Yes. So therefore we put the line underneath. F can be no more than 3 grams of fat. Okay, another section of your homework is determining the truth of an inequality. They're going to give you an inequality like A or like B, right? And and then they give you a value to put in. S minus 7 is less than 5. If I substitute in 14 for S, is 14 minus 7 less than 5? Is 14 minus 7 less than 5? Well, let's solve. 14 minus 7 is 7. Is 7 less than 5? So this inequality is false. Let's try the next one. 12 is greater than or equal to A over 2 plus 2. And we know that A equals 20. I just sort of did that so you can't see it. Let me erase that for you guys. Here we go. A equals 20. So let's rewrite, substituting in a 20 for A. 12 is greater than or equal to 20 over 2 plus 2. 12 is greater than or equal to 20 divided by 2, or 20 over 2 is 10 plus 2. Is 12 greater than or equal to 12? Yes, so this statement is true. Easy enough? All right. And we've done some of this before. This should be review from last year for you guys. Now we're going to graph the inequalities. And remember, graphs in an inequality can be done on a number line. Here you'll see, oops, sorry. Here you'll see in number A that we have x is greater than 4. To graph that on a number line, if it's greater than 4, we do an open circle. So we'll do an an open circle, right? Do you notice that? And if it's x is greater than or equal to, then we do a closed circle. Open circle is just the greater than. Closed circle if it's also equal to. So in fact, what we're saying is that, sorry, all these polka dots are driving me crazy. Okay, there we go, guys. Thank you for being patient with me. Is that x is greater than 4. It does not equal 4, but it's everything greater than 4. Now here we're saying x is greater than or equal to. So it does include 4 in our solution set, and it's also everything greater. Open circle for just that, closed circle for when it's also equal to it. And the reverse, x is less than 4. Open circle, it does not include 4, but it's everything less than 4. 2, 3, and 1 are all parts of the solution. And on D, x is less than or equal to 4, closed circle, and everything less than 4. You might want to look at that section, hear that one more time to make sure you have that part down. Okay, write an inequality for this graph. Okay, so here we're given a graph on your homework, and you have to write the inequality for it. Well, it's an open circle, right? And it's headed that way. So does it include 10? No, it does not include 10, but it's everything greater than 10. Oops. Excuse me. Let me do that again. So it does not include 10, but its x is everything greater than 10. X is greater than 10. $11, $12, $13, $14, those are all greater than what 10 is. It does not include 10. All right, here are your practice problems for today. You have 1, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You have about 9 of them to do. They're pretty simple though. And I'd like you to take the time and write each of one of these down on your paper, and then we will discuss them in class the next time we meet, which I guess would probably be, it depends on which class you're listening to, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. Okay, good luck with these guys. And make sure if you have any questions about anything that you write them down like on the margin of your paper so you remember to ask me or Miss Creighton the next time we have class. Thanks.